Right, to add the wheels to the frame, we're first going to cut a piece to fit across the front of the frame. So we'll cut that out of our craft sticks. Then we're also going to cut two small squares that will align toward the back axle. So we're going to start by measuring a 1/2 inch from the front and draw a line across that, and then we're going to align the front piece to that front line. So the very front of it is going to align with the line that we drew. And we're going to hold the pulley in place and make a mark where the center of the pulley is. We're going to then glue the two short small pieces just centered over the top of that mark. And now we're going to measure where our axles will go. So we're going to measure 4 inches back from the very front of the frame, not the part in the center, just the sides. We'll make 2 marks and then draw a line across the back. Then we're going to make marks for the front axle, and those are 3/4 of an inch from the front. So we'll make our 2 marks there and draw a line across. So now we have 2 lines for the front and for the back axle. Then we're going to measure our dowels and make a line in the center of each one. In the very center, it should be right in the middle at 3 inches if they're 6-inch dowels. When we hold that in place, we're going to then make a mark on the edges of the frame so that we know where the edges of the frame are when we're looking at these dowels. From there then, we're going to align these 4 couplers up on the dowels. So when you look closely at this, you see the line on the outside. That's what we just marked off of the frame. And you're going to add a little bit of glue to the outside of that mark. Then what you can do is twist and slide that coupling up past the line and over the glue. What we're trying to do is get a little bit of glue to the inside of that coupler, and you'll see the outside line kind of pop in right there. And we want to make sure that we always glue to the outside. This is going to keep glue from getting to the inside where the straw is, or the bearing. We don't want it to hinder the turning of the wheel. Now we can glue the cardboard wheel to the outside of that coupling. Just slide it over the hole, get it in place, and this is your opportunity to make sure that wheel is straight and that it doesn't wobble when you're turning it. If we cut a piece of straw just to the inside of the width of the front axle line, just a little bit shorter, we slide that over the axle, and now we're ready to add the outside the other side coupling. So we do it the same way as we did the other one, twisting and sliding it, making sure no glue is to the inside. And then we can glue the other cardboard wheel to the outside of that coupling. Again, this is your opportunity to make sure these wheels are as straight as possible and that they don't wobble when they spin. If you hold the straw, it should spin freely. Here we're going to cut off the excess dowel sticking outside from the wheels and add a little hot glue to the edge of those. That'll hold them into place really nice. Now for the back axle, we're going to cut 2 short pieces of straw, just a little bit shorter than the width of those pieces we added on earlier. And when we want to get the pulley attached to the center of the axle, so we're going to glue it right over the top of that center mark. So we're going to add glue to the center mark, and just like the couplings, we're going to twist and slide the pulley over the top of that glue, only pushing the glue in one direction. You're going to feel it grip the axle a little bit. You want a nice tight grip. And then we want to try and swipe away any excess glue that's sticking out from there. By now it should be cool enough you can do it with your finger. I also use the edge of a scissors to try and scrape away some of the excess glue. That way that won't interfere with the straws that we are now going to add onto both sides of the pulleys. So when you have the 2 short straws on the next to the pulleys, now we can add the couplings to the outsides of those straws. Same process as we did with the front axle. Get the couplings on, glue to the outside of the marks, twist and slide them on. You have a little bit of room here to adjust. Make sure that the pulley and the couplings fit with your frame. Before your glue dries, you can make a few adjustments. And once that's in place, now we can work on the back wheels. The back wheels actually involve gluing 2 of the cardboard wheels together, as you see. And then those are going to slide over the axles and then glue onto the couplings that we put into place. So we're adding the glue to the couplings, sliding it on, and again, just making sure that it looks straight when we turn the axle. And you can see I made a couple of adjustments to that one. And slide this on and carefully align it to the coupling. And check that it aligns well to the frame. Very critical, make sure your rubber band is on the pulley before we attach it to the car. If you forget this, you're going to end up having to break things apart. So we can still clip off the excess dowels and glue to the outside. We're ready to glue the front axle in place. Just a couple of drops of glue where the straw is aligned on the frame will hold that in place. Same with the back axle. You don't want to use too much glue, just enough to kind of hold it in place for a little bit. We'll add more later. And it should only come in contact with the straws. Once that's in place, again, the only chance you have now to get those axles as parallel as possible. That'll ensure that your car goes as straight as you can get it. Once everything is in place and you've tested it, now I'm adding just a small line of glue over the straws and onto the sticks, and that'll help hold things in place really, really tightly. Let it dry, and we're ready to move on to our next step of powering it up.